Hey there, amazing friends. I warmly invite you to join me on this exciting journey by subscribing to my channel, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. Every like, comment, and share brings us closer together and fuels my passion to create more great content. Your support truly makes all the difference. Thank you for being the heart of this community. Earth's first giants, unveiling the forgotten wars of the Titan Age. A hush blanketed the newborn Earth in ancient times before mankind's chronicles or the faintest spark of recorded history. The land was still shaping itself. Violent tremors pulled mountains from the depths. Volcanoes spewed rivers of lava, and the oceans churned restlessly beneath storm-laden skies. The entire globe seemed locked in its own cosmic drama of creation. It was in this primordial epoch, according to certain myths and half-forgotten legends, that a race of colossal beings strode across the land. Towering over mountains with footprints that formed entire valleys, these so-called titans or primeval giants are said to have reigned supreme, forging civilizations whose scope and grandeur rival anything known in modern times. Yet the memory of their existence has been reduced to cryptic references, mere footnotes in epic poems, or carved into megalithic ruins whose purpose no one alive can decipher. And it is in the scattered fragments of lore, deciphered from ancient runes or gleaned from the songs of tribal elders, that we discover stories of unstoppable wars, betrayals, and cosmic rearrangements that once shaped Earth's earliest ages. This saga of the Titan Age stands not as a mere curiosity, but as a cautionary monument that absolute power, when combined with boundless ambition, can tear the fabric of creation itself. In the earliest myths that survive in pockets of oral tradition, we hear of an earth enveloped in mist and the raw forging of elements. These tales speak of a pantheon of proto-deities or cosmic forges that hammered out the planet's geology. But emerging from that swirling chaos, the Titans are described as the first Earthborn. Some myths call them children of the planet's core, extruded by volcanic vents, newly formed and brimming with latent cosmic energy. Others say they descended from astral origins, cast onto Earth by a passing comet carrying the seeds of colossal life. A few lines of runic script from the Himalayan foothills describe them as sky-borne champions who claimed dominion over a raw planet lacking any other advanced life. The truth, if it existed in a pure form, is lost beyond myth. Yet all these legends converge in describing these beings as impossibly large, strong enough to carve valleys with their bare hands, tall enough that their heads could brush the swirling lower clouds, and long-lived beyond mortal comprehension. Their voices, it's said, could echo across entire seas. Their blood, when spilled, sowed the seeds for bizarre and potent life forms, forging connections between Earth's primal essence and cosmic energies. For a long era, these titans or first giants, whatever the local traditions label them, lived in relative harmony with the planet. They sculpted vast structures from bedrock, forging monolithic cities that crowned the highest peaks or sprawled along the edges of newly formed seas. Some stories describe them harnessing the raw energies of the Earth's electromagnetic fields, weaving runic inscriptions that tapped into the planet's pulses, stabilizing or guiding tectonic movements. Titan Watchers, so the legends say, could sense Earth's quakes before they happened, or shift the course of rivers to suit their needs. Many ancient megalithic ruins that baffle archaeologists today, temples built from blocks so massive that even modern machines struggle to move them, are rumored to be remnants of Titan architecture. Some folk traditions maintain that the alignments of these structures with star constellations reflect cosmic knowledge that the Titans gleaned from their astral lineage. Or perhaps it was out of mutual reverence for both earth and sky that they designed everything with celestial precision, bridging cosmic cycles and terrestrial stability. Yet hidden beneath these feats of civilization was an undercurrent of tension. For not all the Titans share the same ideals. Some believed in stewarding Earth's resources carefully, living in cyclical harmony with its rhythms, while others sought to subjugate nature to their will, extracting energies to fuel ever more ambitious wonders. That divide formed the seeds of conflict, a schism between Titans who revered the planet's living essence and those who craved unstoppable dominion. Myths call these factions by different names in different regions: the Earthbound versus the Conquerors, the Keepers versus the Takers, or simply the Enlightened versus the Warbringers. Each region's version differs in detail, but all revolve around the same pivot. Eventually, the Titans fell into disagreement so profound that it birthed violent clashes, and thus commenced the so-called Titan Wars. The Titan Wars are described in legends as cataclysmic events, overshadowing any conflict known to subsequent humanoid civilizations. Battlefields spanned continents, and entire mountain ranges were sundered or thrown up in a single day. Thunderstorms roiled for months, fueled by the Titans' manipulations of Earth's natural forces. Some accounts claim that the Warbringers harnessed the planet's molten core, forging weapons of fire that could melt stone from miles away, while the Keepers shaped immense barriers of living Earth or commanded storms of cosmic energy in defense. Where these giants fought, the land itself was scarred, forming deserts or inland seas. Multiple geological anomalies we see today, like abrupt canyons or strangely shaped mountain peaks, are attributed to the collateral damage from Titan combat. Though scholars chalk these up to normal tectonics, local myths quietly point to battle scars from that primordial era. Central to the war narratives is the mention of unthinkable casualties. If a Titan was slain, its body didn't merely vanish. The story says a Titan's corpse could reconfigure entire landscapes, its bones forming petrified ridges, its blood saturating the soil with an unseen essence. Some watchers interpret certain unusual rock formations as petrified remains. In mountainous areas, local legend might identify a ridge as the spine of Argoth, the fallen Titan king, or a plateau as the flattened skull of Morgella, the Titan queen. These references appear in old chants and rock paintings, though modern analysis sees them as poetic allusions. The watchers of esoteric tradition, however, remain certain that these strange landscapes contain genuine Titan fossils. Indeed, a handful of megalithic sites show carvings that depict enormous figures lying in states of death, their towering forms merging with hillsides, while smaller figures, possibly humanoids or lesser beings, gather around them in awe. As the Titan Wars escalated, their destructive energies evidently threatened Earth's stability. Many myths converge on the point that the planet's survival hung in the balance. Some Titans recognized that a final cataclysm was imminent if the conflict didn't cease. They convened in a vast moot. Some stories call it the Gathering at Earth's Crown, a meeting of Titan elders held atop the world's highest summit, hidden by perpetual storms. There, the Keepers pleaded for an end to the war, urging unity or at least a mutual departure from Earth to prevent irreparable harm. The Warbringers refused, intoxicated by their lust for absolute rule. Legend states that in a final push, the Keepers summoned a cosmic or dimensional force, forging what might be called a planetary shield that severed the Titans from this realm. This forced banishment exiled the Warbringers, locked them in some astral prison or uncharted dimension, while the Keepers, exhausted, likewise vanished or retreated into the Earth's deeper layers. Some accounts are more direct, describing how the Keepers sacrificed themselves, using their life energies to seal the Warbringers away. Thus ended the Titan Age in a single, cataclysmic event, one that left the Earth deeply scarred and silent. an infant planet free at last to evolve new life without overshadowing giants. Yet, the story does not simply end with their disappearance. Instead, across diverse mythologies, references to Earth's first giants linger like echoes. Tribes in mountainous realms speak of half-buried Titan skeletons discovered in avalanche zones but disappearing before systematic study. In remote caverns, enormous footprints remain petrified in layered stone, though official geology might call them random fractures. Some megalithic sites, oriented so precisely to cosmic alignments, seem beyond the plausible feats of Stone Age humans. This deepens speculation that fragments of Titan architecture remain among us, forming the basis of what we call lost civilizations. Some watchers hypothesize that the keepers may have bequeathed knowledge or hidden artifacts to nascent human societies, thereby explaining sudden leaps in ancient engineering. Meanwhile, any direct proof, like a full Titan skeleton or an intact city, remains elusive, overshadowed by time and the mortal inability to interpret or preserve such evidence. Nevertheless, rumors of Titan sightings or mini-wars linger in certain esoteric circles. In mountainous enclaves, a few explorers claim to have glimpsed giant silhouettes at dusk or heard rumblings that seemed like footsteps. Others speak of faint lights drifting across remote peaks, suggesting that not all Titans have vanished. Or perhaps the Warbringers left seeds or half-blood offspring hidden among us, overshadowing legends of half-giants in old epic cycles. Critics dismiss these accounts as tall tales or illusions fueled by the grandeur of untouched wilderness. Indeed, no modern expedition has produced conclusive proof of a living Titan. Still, the Watchers maintain that some dwell in deep subterranean realms or stasis, awaiting a cosmic cycle to re-emerge. According to them, one day we might face a second Titan age if these beings awaken, or if the cosmic lock fails. This idea spawns entire subgenres of doomsday lore, weaving Titan reawakening into end-of-days prophecies. More moderate scholars see Titan myths as an allegory for huge cataclysmic events in Earth's deep past. The giant wars might correspond to massive volcanic ages or asteroid impacts that reconfigured continents. The vanished Titans in that reading become a symbolic personification of unstoppable natural forces, floods, quakes, storms, that early humans mythologized as warring colossi. From that vantage, Titan names in ancient epics might mask references to climate cataclysms or significant global changes that proliterate societies passed down in fable form. They note that many Bronze Age or older cultures describe giants or gods shaping the Earth's features with battles or feats. Possibly, these are remnants of an Earth memory, bridging real geological catastrophes with poetic imagination. The Watchers who cling to a literal Titan existence see that as only half the story. The catastrophes were real, but they were triggered by living cosmic scale beings in a lost time. One might wonder how the Greek Titan mythology, with Cronus, Rhea, and others, ties into these broader legends. Indeed, in Greek myth, the Titans preceded the Olympian gods, eventually overthrown by them in a cosmic conflict. That narrative parallels the notion of an older race replaced by a new pantheon. The Watchers suggest that the Greek tales might be only one cultural retelling of a universal event, with Cronus representing a warbringer figure. In certain Mesopotamian, Norse, or Mesoamerican traditions, we find parallel references to primeval giant races dethroned by younger gods. The Watchers highlight how these parallels might reflect real, albeit mythic, historical events that shaped humanity's collective memory. Others argue it's simply an archetypal pattern found in myth worldwide, representing generational overthrow rather than literal giant battles. But the thematic resonance stands. In modern times, the legend of Titan Wars has found renewed life in pop culture, fantasy novels, blockbuster movies, or cryptic internet theories. Some fans speculate that megalithic architecture, from Machu Picchu to Göbekli Tepe, was either built by or built for giant beings. They point to the impractical stonework, the colossal scale of doors or pathways, as if standard human labor was insufficient. Yet mainstream archaeology typically sees advanced engineering or well-coordinated labor in those structures, not literal giants. The Watchers remain unswayed, insisting that something more was at play. The footprints of a Titan age that once spanned the globe. They claim that because direct proof might upend fundamental narratives of human progress, governments or academic institutions might quietly stifle or reinterpret such findings. A standard conspiracy approach, yes, but it keeps the Titan story swirling in social media corners. Regardless of one's stance, the idea of Earth once hosting beings so large they dwarfed mountains, forging epic civilizations, resonates with a certain primal longing for a time when mythic heroes roamed a raw planet. The Titan Age stands as both an evocative cautionary tale, what unstoppable might can yield if left unbridled, and a hopeful lens that Earth's vastness once accommodated wonders beyond our present scope. The Watchers maintain that echoes of these giant conflicts might still be found in subtle energy lines crossing Earth, ley lines, if you will, some being the scars or harnessed channels from Titan architecture. Dowsers or sensitives who explore such lines occasionally report bursts of psychic phenomena near megalithic sites. Could these be leftover Titan energies? Or is it pure speculation? No consensus emerges, leaving the myth open-ended and perpetually fascinating. For a traveler wandering among certain remote highland passes or desert plateaus, it's possible to stand in the hush and imagine colossal silhouettes etched against the horizon. The environment's rawness fosters a sense that something ancient once roamed here. Broken boulders might look suspiciously like chipped remains of a titan's throne or rampart. In the wind's moan, one might sense faint echoes of that legendary war that shaped entire continents. The Watchers would say you're tapping into the land's memory, hearing the distant cry of beings older than any recorded empire. Skeptics would say it's your mind conjuring illusions in the face of majestic landscapes. And so the conversation endures, bridging rational geology with mythic wonder. The unstoppable question remains: if a fraction of these stories hold truth, did a race of impossibly large, powerful beings truly once walk this earth? The land's features, the megalithic puzzles, the cross-cultural mythic parallels all tempt us to consider the possibility. Meanwhile, lacking undisputed physical evidence, mainstream science hesitates to confirm it. The Watchers persist with their claims that a few fragments of giant bones, discovered in obscure digs, were whisked away by powerful institutions to maintain a status quo narrative. That, of course, is the usual conspiracy pattern. Yet the longing for a lost Titan age goes beyond conspiracies. It's an expression of humanity's yearning for cosmic grandeur, for a sense that our world was once a stage for epic battles of near godlike beings. In the end, Earth's first giants, unveiling the forgotten wars of the Titan Age, stands as a tapestry of myth, half-lost knowledge, and speculative archaeology that might never be definitively proven or debunked. One can interpret it as a grand metaphor for Earth's tumultuous prehistory, or as a literal account of cosmic war among ancient colossi. The Watchers hold out hope for new discoveries: a hidden tomb, a petrified Titan skull, or an ancient library scrawled with the truth. They point to the possibility that the reawakening of a Titan or the unearthing of a Titan skeleton would rewrite textbooks overnight. For now, the stories remain scattered through dusty archives, whispered in remote tribal chants, or etched into giant stone blocks whose language we do not decipher. But in campfire gatherings, around late-night discussions, the mention of the Titan Age can still hush the crowd, stirring the imagination with glimpses of a world beyond mortal scale, a world in which unstoppable beings shaped mountains and wars shook the earth to its core. And that is perhaps the abiding legacy of such myths, to remind us that in the quiet spaces between mainstream history's lines, entire epochs of wonder might lie dormant, awaiting only the spark of curiosity to bring them roaring back to life in the mind's eye.